Okay, so here we are. It is weekly rotation time. I am a little bit late. It was the Easter holiday. I also celebrated my birthday on the weekend. And so, I've taken a little while to get around to doing this. Good news is that I'm very much aware that I've only been posting weekly rotation videos for the last few weeks, but I do have some different topics, if you like, reviews coming up in the next couple of weeks. So hopefully there'll be some variety in my content. So I apologize if you're getting a little bit bored with the weekly rotations. I had an interesting week this week. I wore a brand new sample that I had not worn as a full scent of the day yet. I'm pretty close to emptying a bottle that I've had a long time. But first what I might do is just go through the bottles that I wore throughout this week, and I'll just start off with ones that you've heard about lots of times. Eau de Bois by L'Occitane. This, if you haven't heard me say it before, is my ultimate comfort scent. I also wore from my decant, not this bottle, admittedly, Eau de Hermes. Now, what I will say about this perfume is I had this question posed. I can't remember where I read it or who mentioned it. In the very hypothetical situation where I had to choose absolutely one perfume, only one perfume from my whole wardrobe that I loved, for starters. That's the most important criteria. But also one that I felt I could wear any time of the year, regardless of the weather, the season, the climate, wherever I am. Now, some parts of the world it might not work, but I came to the conclusion that I would probably choose Eau de Hermes for that specific hypothetical question. Because I do really love it. I mean, it's since I've had it, it's been in my top 5 perfumes, and I think that it has its strengths in colder weather, and it does a whole other thing in warmer weather. It's all there. It's so versatile. I guess the only thing going against it maybe is that it's not as crowd pleasing as it could be, but I've never cared about that. We're having the odd warm day here now that we're really in the middle of autumn now. There's still the odd warm day. So I got to wear my bottle of L'Homme Ideal cologne. Now, for anyone who's aware, because it just reminded me, is that Guerlain have recently released parfum versions of, Habit Rouge and Vetiver. And there is also a L'Homme Ideal parfum version. So the one I'm interested in, though, is the one, I think it might be a limited edition, the Platine. That's in the name. And I have read that it is essentially this perfume, although the cologne in this branding and packaging is discontinued, the Platine appears to be a version of this perfume. I really, really like this perfume, especially. I'm always especially reminded by how much I like it when I wear it. It's one of those perfumes, and because it is cologne, it's citrus, there's that creamy almond thing going on that runs through the whole Ideal line. It just gives it a touch of uniqueness, especially as a freshie, and it just works really well on my skin. Then I wore another of my absolute perfume loves, Helmut Lang Eau de Parfum. What I noticed about this time around, sometimes when I wear this, I really get particular parts of its structure on any given wear. So in the past, if I was thinking of wearing Helmut Lang eau de parfum, what would be predominantly in my mind are the white florals, like the orange blossom, the powderiness of the heliotrope. But this time around, when I wore it, I was immediately reminded of how wonderfully musky the base of this perfume is. But this time around, it was there right from the start. As soon as I sprayed that perfume, that gorgeous musk that's really, really just pushing, really bordering on clean and dirty, right on the point of that axis. Like it's clean, but not. I don't know how else I can describe it. It's just got the right amount of skank in this musk to complement the cleanliness and the soapiness of the white flowers and everything else that's built around it. It's just a beautiful perfume. The other perfume I also wore was from this newish bottle of Rochas Moustache 1949. So this is the eau de toilette version, and not to be mistaken with the eau de parfum, which is an entirely different scent, basically. So this is citrus, herbal, woody, in the family of things like Eau Sauvage and that style of perfumery. The lemon in this one, in the opening, really reminds me of candied lemon more than real lemon, which I don't mind. Otherwise, I wouldn't wear it if I didn't like it. It's just a really nicely done fresh cologne. And have a look at this bottle. Seriously, that cap has got a bit of weight to it. It's not all metal, but it's got a bit of weight. But who doesn't like a ribbed bottle? Okay, before I talk about the perfume that I chose to wear all week, I'll talk about the samples that I did wear this week. So first one I'll talk about is Molecule Plus One Iris from Escentric Molecules. This is clearly my favorite from this line, and it also is one of my favorite Iris perfumes. And it's a tricky one because I made a post about this perfume on Instagram. Essentially, it made me really think about what I like, and placing a value on it. So a lot of people will talk about this line, and it is marketed simply as being ISOE Super with an iris material, okay? And in all honesty, that's essentially all my nose picks up on. I'm not pretending to be able to smell other aroma chemicals, raw materials in here. I literally like this because of the iris note. Now, the thing about that is that at the prices that these bottles get sold at is simply where do you place the value? And there's no right or wrong answer here, but it did make me think about placing value on something when you know what it is constructed of or what it's made up of. Yes, you might think, well, if I really found out how much the bulk of the materials cost to make this perfume, should I pay that much for it? And I have applied this logic in the past, so I'm not arguing for or against. But at the same time, in terms of iris perfumes, I have struggled to find an iris that I am happy to wear and really like in the past. And this one is that perfume for me. So I guess what I'm trying to express here is the value for me here is finding a perfume I didn't think existed. And, if I'll finish the sample, and at this point I'll probably will buy a bottle of it. But also that kind of knowing what's behind it and whether you think it's worth it. It's a whole other topic, and maybe a whole other video or a podcast just talking about how we place our value on things like perfume, for instance. And this particular case, Molecule plus Iris, is making me think about that. It's a basic bitch perfume. Iris ISO is super, but I really, really like it. So go figure. On a little bit of the other end of the spectrum, just in terms of basic and simple, I am moving to something that is not that. I wore Philtre by Hiram Green. I think it's pronounced Philtre with that French accent. I should have maybe researched this, or Philtre. I'll put the spelling on the screen. Carnation. Carnation doesn't seem to be a perfume note that is by any stretch of the imagination a trendy note or something that's in vogue. It was definitely a popular note in the past, in particular classic perfumes. I mean, things like Tabac Blonde come to mind immediately. The other popular carnation perfumes that I have talked with friends about, get mentioned, don't actually seem to be in production anymore. I'm talking about things like Santa Maria Novella's Garofano, for instance, which is held up as a little bit of a benchmark for carnation. But my point is, it's kind of not really in vogue. So Hiram Green has created this perfume, and the star is carnation. But I have to say, what I really, really enjoy about this perfume is that, to me, when I've smelled carnation in other perfumes in the past, it's kind of been polite. It's been accompanied by other materials that might smooth its edges or make it feel more refined. This perfume, Philtre, is unhinged, and I love it. I'm here for it. It feels like a carnation that's decided to go off-grid, leave the city, and just go wild in the country. And it has all of those elements to it. Like, it's not trying to hold its spice back. It feels almost like it's growing fur, not in any animalic way, but I feel like this is a carnation that's evolved into a wild flower, and it just does not give a shit about what you think about it. And again, I'm here for it. I absolutely was so taken by my first wearing of this perfume that I'm looking forward for the next opportunity to wear it. I will do more testing. I want to wear it in different weather, but so far things are positive. But carnation and everything associated with it, including clove, is something that you need to be able to accept at the very least, if not because that's what it is, and it's not, it's got it all hanging out and no shame. I really, really like Hiram Green's new release. The perfume that I chose to wear each day last week, and I have associations with around my birthday time with this particular perfume, is the legendary Dior Fahrenheit. This particular bottle I actually bought this as a partial, maybe 3/4 full, and there is only that much left. I'm already looking to get a replacement bottle. I went to the store on the weekend and smelled what was out on the counters as testers, and I was very happy with what I was smelling in these current bottles compared to this one. And I'm not even talking about, vintage Fahrenheit, even though I know you can find the odd bottle here and there. I'm very happy with current formulations of this perfume. So this is definitely one I will be replacing, and probably probably one of the few that I might be emptying this year at last. I very rarely get to empty any perfume bottles, and this will be one of them. So that is my last week. Like I said, I will have new videos coming with slightly different topics, a couple of reviews of new perfumes as well. And it's good to be back, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.